Zdravствуйте. Здравствуйте. Здравствуйте. I don't know if I said that right or not. Доброе Доброе утро. I'm sorry, foreign languages has never been my long suit. I've tried learning some Persian since this is Iran. This is what the locals speak, in hopes of being able to communicate with them, and that did not go very well at all. Since there's a goodly number of Russians around here, I thought, well, I'll learn a few phrases and words and terms in Russian to communicate with no, that didn't work either, as you heard. But all is not lost, as I understand it. There's a lot of Britishers around here. If I learn some English, just might be able to commute with those folks, perhaps. We'll see. And hello there, folks. Welcome to the Persian Gulf edition of Dave Diggs History. When we last met, we were talking about the backstory to all of this. What is this? What's it doing here? What's its purpose? Why are we in Iran and Iraq and Kuwait and Bahrain and the Saudi Arabian coast as it borders up against the Persian Gulf? We tried to answer this in terms of who, what, when, where, why, how. And when I got to the why part, I stopped. And if you caught that episode, you may remember I stopped it because the why part is so convoluted, so complicated, so difficult to understand. It would probably take an entire episode to explain it. I hope explain it. Same thing with the how. Let's get right into it. Let's go to the why. Why are we here? It's complicated enough. I had to make a timeline so I can keep track of, well, what happened and in what order did it happen. Because it was a lot that happened. For instance, we're going to start the timeline with the 11th of March of 1941. Keep in mind, that's before Pearl Harbor. We're not in the war yet. We are neutral. 11th of March 1941, the Lend-Lease Act was signed into law by our guy right there, President Roosevelt. The Lend-Lease Act, that was not its official name. Its official name was, according to the records, an act to further the defense of the United States. Like anyone ever used that term. People know it as, those who do know it as the Lend-Lease Act. That's what it was. The whole idea of Lend-Lease had to deal with America being the arsenal of democracy. Our factories could outperform, outproduce, outbuild, outfit, you name it, anything and everything in the way of raw material at a time when our ally, Great Britain, was pretty much the only ally in the war with Nazi Germany. France, Norway, Denmark, Holland, Belgium, they'd all been knocked out of the war. They're not participants except in resistance movements. So our job was to just simply funnel the products of the arsenal of democracy to Great Britain and their Commonwealth allies. March of 41. Then what happened? Oh, yep. I didn't need to look at this. June 22nd, 1941, Operation Barbarossa. Nazi Germany invades Russia and rapidly wraps up a series of victories that cost the Russians immense numbers of men and immense numbers of equipment. In the first calendar year of the war with the Soviet Union or Russia, whatever, it's the same thing. The only thing different is the spelling. They lost a million men plus in total casualties in 1941. Now the war with them started in June, late June, so a lot of casualties are wrapped up in a very short time span. And the numbers of planes, tanks, guns, you name it, knocked out of the war, I can't count that high. because the Soviet Union at the time was losing the war, it was felt in certain circles of the War Department here in America and the State Department, they're not going to make it. They're going to surrender or give up or throw in the towel or they're going to put themselves out of the war like they did in the last war. Now, in the last war, World War I, the Russians says, that's it, we're leaving, goodbye, throw in the towel. About 1 million Germans were freed up to go somewhere else and shoot people. In the spring of 1918, the additional German reinforcements appeared on the Western Front, where they launched an offensive with the object of capturing Paris, knocking France out of the war. Britain was not going to stick around by themselves, and the United States' involvement, even though we had declared war on Germany by this time, the boots on the ground numbers were quite low. It might have cost us the war. Now, historians post-war, with the benefit of 20/20 hindsight, and hindsight is always 20/20, will tell you the Germans were never going to take Paris. They were never going to knock France out of the war or Britain out of the war. Wasn't going to happen. That wasn't the way we looked at it at the time. Things were looking mighty bad. Well, advance the clock to World War II, and in the event the Russians throw in the towel, there's a whole bunch of battle-trained, experienced Germans with armor and aircraft who will be freed up, and they're going to look around for somebody to shoot at. Can't let that happen. So the idea was, let's extend Lend-Lease to include the Russians. We can't do anything about their manpower losses. We can at least try to pick up the slack and replace at least some of their material losses. And so they were written into it in October of 41, not too long after the invasion. And in the meantime, the United States established the military mission to Iran. Sort of, we're neutral. Pearl Harbor hasn't happened yet. We're not in the war. The object of the military mission was to properly train the Iranian army, what was left of it, and also there was another mission for the gendarmerie, the police, Iranian police. The headquarters of the Iran military mission was, guess where? If you guess Baghdad, you're right. It was headquartered in Baghdad, Iraq. Why a military mission to Iran would be headquartered in Iraq, I have no clue. No clue, in Baghdad. It was later switched to Basra, which is still in Iraq. Don't get a headache trying to figure this out. The army moves in strange and mysterious ways. Some of you may already be familiar with that. Then what happened? Oh, yes. In 42, June of 42, there was a name change. The military mission was changed. This is hard to explain. It still continued to exist under that name, but a piece of it was hacked off and called, what were we calling it then? Oh, yes. The Iran-Iraq Service Command, headquartered in, yep, Iraq. Again, don't ask. And not too long after that, something else very bad happened. In July of 1942, what happened was PQ-17. PQ was a convoy going to Russia with war material. If it's PQ, it's going to. If it's QP, it's coming from. This convoy, PQ-17, was going to Murmansk and Arkhangelsk to deliver material to the Russians in the far, far Arctic North so that the Germans couldn't get to it. But unfortunately, in the way to get there, they have to pass by Norway. There are U-boats stationed there. The Luftwaffe has anti-shipping operations flying out of there. The 35 ships were in a convoy, 24 were sunk. That's a loss that can't be sustained in the long haul. And for a while, shipments of material to the Russians via the northern route was just simply terminated indefinitely. Well, now what? Where is all this war material supposed to go if I can't get to Russia through the northern route? Enter another name change. The Iran-Iraq Service Command was renamed Persian Gulf Service Command. And this time it was headquartered. Yeah, same place. It was reporting to the USAFIME, United States Armed Forces in Middle East, and they were based out of Cairo. The people here reported to the Cairo people reported to the War Department people. Not too long after that, can you guess what's happening next? Yep, it's another name change. Persian Gulf Service Command, renamed Persian Gulf Command, and a little bit before that happened, the headquarters of the previous command, which was what again? Moved to Camp Amirabad in Tehran. Well, it was a little bit east of Tehran, but it was headquartered there. And for the most part, it stayed there for the duration of the war. And its affiliation with the people in Cairo, that was terminated. The new iteration of our involvement over there was thought to be so important, it reported directly to the War Department, skipping the people in Cairo altogether. As far as the table of organization is concerned, on paper, this all looks good. But did it work? It has to work no matter how good it looks on paper. That's where the why comes in. That's next time. We're going to do the how. In the meantime, smoke them if you got them. If you have any complaints, tell the chaplain. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. And a like and subscription would be appreciated. In the meantime, I've got a train coming. So, digs out. Thanks for stopping by.